Welcome, everybody. We are delighted to be sharing this Ask Me Anything today with Gregor Novak, our co-founder, who will be taking us through the community questions, giving us an update on SunContract and all the exciting things we have in store for 2023. So welcome, Gregor. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for inviting, and all my greetings to SunContract community.
Fantastic. So, Gregor, we've just come back from Dubai, our team, and we had the wonderful recognition of Environmental Project of the Year from AIBC Sigma World, which was a huge award for us. What does it mean to you?
That's a really awesome award. We are very thankful that even Sigma, ABC, globally recognized our project. And this award we got in Dubai a few weeks ago, it's really meaning a lot of us.
It does. And of course, we have our goals for global expansion. So this international award means a lot to us. Gregor, what trends are you seeing in the energy sector in Europe at the moment? How has SunContract managed with all these challenges?
Oh, yes, we are actually living in an awesome time. So energy is very, very volatile, and especially in Europe, we can face it that the energy is actually very, very important. We have seen last year the spikes of the energy prices went even 10, 12 times the price spikes in last year, especially in the end of the year. But this year, we are seeing this a little bit more calm. The spikes are going down. And actually, there we have enough energy in Europe. Anyway, that's why the prices went on. But of course, the prices are never going back on the levels they were before the crisis, energy crisis, before the war of Ukrainian Russian invasion in Ukraine. And this war happened last year. So, the invasion happened last year. So we are now about 100% over even more, 100 to 150% over the prices we faced before the invasion. So, but anyway, SunContract actually here in this case was actually the perfect solution because of blockchain model, because of peer-to-peer model, and because of flexibility we have on the platform. We actually set up in a few months a new service, dynamic peer-to-peer energy marketplace, which we introduced to the customers. They love it because they wanted to hedge these energy prices, and they had no opportunities on the classical energy consumers or producers. They couldn't do this. Even a lot of big guys, big energy companies went very, very in trouble financially speaking, and SunContract jumped in with these products and allowing peer-to-peer, allowing customers to come in also to the spot market, and allowing them to be flexible, to hedge the prices. And actually, we saw this, especially in these turbulent times, volatile times, a SunContract solution even more perfect than in normal times.
This is a very important part of our business, isn't it, Gregor? Because we're into the peer-to-peer trading side of energy and all the benefits that come with that. So for us, blockchain is critical. What could you tell our people and our customers about why blockchain is the way to go?
Yeah, because especially, first of all, because of transparency. In energy sector, we see lack of transparency. And also lack of power that we can give back to the user. If you want to give the power back to the user, then you need the transparency behind, and that's all in combined in SunContract, and blockchain here. That's why it's the essential part. So this is on the local view. Also on the global view, in blockchain, it's a global service, a global solution. We have trust in the blockchain. To blockchains, I can say. We trust Bitcoin, we trust Ethereum, we trust different blockchains. And of course, SunContract is built also in Ethereum, and SNC token, the security token platform is also Ethereum based. So people can trust it and people can use it, and we can also have a potential on the global reach.
Trust is at the core of what we do. And I believe, you know, having joined the company months ago as your chief marketing officer, for me, this is news we want to take to the world. This is not about traditional marketing, just trying to get customers on board. We're literally offering a life solution and a solution to the energy crisis in general. So it's really important that people have the right impression of how powerful the blockchain is as a decentralized tool, putting power back into the hands of people. So today, Gregor, we have a number of questions that have come through from our community. We took and collected these questions. We're also talking about the future plans for SunContract. And so I'll start with one question that we often get. Sonce is our installation business. SunContract is our platform. Which came first, Sonce or SunContract?
That's a good question. And yes, Sonce means in Slovenian sun. SunContract is a contract with the sun. So you can see SunContract came after Sonce, because Sonce is also the name of the group we are using on all our companies in Slovenia, Estonia, and now also in other countries. Yeah, first of all, actually came Sonce. We started in 2007 with installation of solar power plants, and from this time up to now, we installed many thousands of solar power plants. That's why Sonce is actually our base. So that's why we are on the core business. We know the renewables, we believe in the renewables, and we do renewables. And then we saw a lack of these renewables, how to connect, how to engage people, and then SunContract came into the game. And actually, we are very happy that now we have, let's say, 5th anniversary of SunContract. Platform is live now, and we can say that we are actually proud of this, what we've done in 2018. And we're still pioneers on this market, and then SunContract is enabled to connect those people, to enable these people to work together toward the green revolution, to the carbon neutral continent, and also carbon neutral planet in the end. So this is essential part we believe in. So we're coming from solar, connecting renewables, and also providing something also for the next generation, not just for us in this moment.
Absolutely. I think you've highlighted what's so important is that not only do we build the product, but we also have the product on the platform, and we're making an impact on green energy across the world. Important for us to also differentiate would be to say, are we able to take other installations onto our platform? Is that possible for anybody new who's to the platform?
Sure, of course. We do already take other installers, they become our partners, and they install and then can bring the customers to the SunContract. We are also doing this even now more deeply to introduce, still we will introduce in the next few months a new partner program, then where all others also will be able to join. Because on the market now in Slovenia, European Union, people got to know SunContract, got to know, they know now the services we provide. They are unique services, moving energy, sharing energy, selling energy, putting, let's say, net metering energy from one calendar year to another calendar year, moving to the sun, to the daughter, use for the electrical vehicle, which will come next year, for example, and save this energy for next year. So these all services we provide now at SunContract, beside classical peer-to-peer, which is actually our core on the energy platform. And they like it, they love it. And that's why they would like to be with us. So our competitors now in the Sonce, let's say competitors, they would like to be partners of SunContract, and we are welcome.
Very good to know, because we're not saying we do the installation, and if we do the installation, you can use the platform. We're making the platform available to everyone, and that's a big thing to distinguish between. Let's talk a little bit more about Ethereum. You were talking about it being Ethereum and Bitcoin being something you felt you could trust. One of the questions that have come through from the community is, will you continue to stay on the Ethereum network?
Yes, Ethereum actually is a very, very solid blockchain, and has the biggest community, development community. We believe in Ethereum. We started with Ethereum. We are staying still in Ethereum, and in the future we are certainly going to stay with that. Maybe there will be some other things to come now. Also in the future, we certainly will look at that we can to interconnect different blockchains, which is actually aim of all of us who are working in blockchain, to be interconnected. And we already have some talks with some partners. We did already some oracles or wrapped tokens from one to another blockchains, and I'm sure that we saw a lot of interest about this, and so I'm sure that in the future we'll also work on this, and that we will work and connect beside Ethereum also some other blockchains and offer even wider communities worldwide our services.
Absolutely. And, you know, the blockchain itself has given us the ability to not only run our platform, but of course also to have our SNC token. So customers can pay and sell electricity with either SEPA, Euro, or with SNC coins. So one of the questions that's come through again from the community is, have you considered creating a cross-chain bridge for the SNC token and migrating to another chain, even though ERC transaction fees are still painful?
Yeah, this as I said, we are actually thinking about how to connect, how to do some oracles, or how to use some services, some blockchains which are able to connect, and they are already on the place. One happened this year in January, came into force, came into life. So we are actually we just want to be focused on energy. But with the blockchain side, we are preferred to stay on the open source solutions, which are stable, which are trustful, and certainly we will use them, and to work in some collaboration with some of our partners, and then to do this in the future. But I cannot predict it right now. But still, we are actually don't want to develop new blockchains, because it's not our aim. But our aim is to develop a new energy services on blockchain or blockchains, and this we will do also in the future.
Of course, because there's been turbulent times in crypto with SEC sanctions and so on. You've mentioned that SunContract fundamentals are in place for long-term business. Have you had any problems with banks or payments as a crypto company?
No, we are working normally with banks, with everything, because we are actually in essence energy company, and using technology, blockchain in this case to help us providing develop a new services, and that's why banks recognize us normal as an energy company, and we have no problems as well with the banks. So mostly banks are against just a crypto companies. They are doing just crypto business, and they are a little afraid of those companies, and that's why they ban them, or they don't like to be working with them. But actually, we are in essence energy company. We buy, sell energy, do contracts, we do installations, all this stuff, and yeah, we have no problem with that. Some SNC token is a pure utility token, which is in our platform actually meant for all sales, all trades for electricity. And also a new functions, utility functions, we add this summer to it. So we would like that SNC, we built on SNC, we trust SNC, and we'll build another utilities for SNC. But now, up to now, you can see, if you go to Etherscan and see where the SNC is held, you can see that about 35% of SNC is already in hands of our customers, which are in our platform. So it means utility is in our platform. That's why customers brings SNC to our platform. The rest is on exchanges and the private wallets and everywhere. But 35% about roughly is in our platform. Usually the coins and the tokens moving to the place where the utility for the token is. If there is no utility, there is no worth of token. But where is utility, then token is falling. So we can see, and when with new utilities, new services, this will all even be much larger in the future.
Absolutely, and the SNC coin really is core to our business. 35% usage on the platform is incredibly important. And I know that you've got some comments later on in our talk about what those new utilities will be. So can we talk a little bit more about expansion into new markets like Croatia going?
Yes, we actually changed a little plans. We wanted to go first to Italy. It was our original plan, but then we were a little bit too fast. The Italian market is a little bit more complicated than the other European markets. Maybe one of the most complicated, if I'm honest here. And then COVID came as well, and so we changed a little bit our plans. But we didn't stop with that. We actually already established a balance group. We got a license in Estonia. We can provide service even now in Estonia, but actually we will do this in combination with Croatia. In Croatia, we also started to set up 2 companies in Croatia. We already did this, and now it's in procedures and getting all documentation, and also additional papers, licenses we need in Croatia, that we can set up the peer-to-peer energy marketplace also in Croatia. So when we have Croatia ready, I suppose this will be during the summer, then we will introduce peer-to-peer market in Croatia and Estonia at the same time. And this will be first time that people will be able to do in Slovenia, Croatia, and Estonia, in 3 countries, peer-to-peer. Next year, we are certainly planning to go on different countries, new countries. I don't want to say which one. It little depends of the energy legislation on this country, because it's not unified around Europe. It should have been, but it's sometimes we do due diligence, and it's easier to go, let's say, with one country than other. And of course, depends on our customers. If we have a lot of requests, let's say, from one European country more than another, then maybe we will more focus on this one, because we still are limited with the resources, especially with people resources. Even we grow a lot, we still limited to be, let's say, parallel working on establishing a new markets and new services on, let's say, 3-4 countries in the same time. So this is still going step by step. I think it's more secure, also more sustainable for us all, also with the community, that we go a little bit faster, I mean, a little bit slower, but anyway, more sustainable. Where we go, we are there. And we are in energy sector, so we have to understand that in energy, it's like a plane carrier, you know, or tanker. So it's not so easy to put it in one place, but when you put it in direction, then it goes this direction. And if you have a sustainable business model, then it goes this direction. And this is like we come with peer-to-peer market. We are still in this business model unique in Europe and unique worldwide in the model we have on peer-to-peer. We are not the only one with peer-to-peer, but we are unique with our business model in peer-to-peer. And maybe I can introduce that we will do also in the future. I will not tell when, because I don't know exactly when, but that we will do also cross-border peer-to-peer. It means that people from, let's say, Estonia will be able to buy on peer-to-peer market energy from Croatia, for example, or from Slovenia, or opposite. It means it's also something new. Nobody else, you know, on the retail market ever introduced to the market and ever showed on the market. So we want to have this global energy marketplace, what we started 5 years ago, and this will be, let's say, first part of the global energy marketplace when we go cross-border. It's complicated. It's not easy to do this. Otherwise, everybody would already have done that. But we know how to do this. We have everything here in place. We introduce these two markets, and then we do on top of it new services and so on. We go steadily, but I would say we go faster and faster in the last years.
Well, I must say, since joining SunContract last year, something that's really stood out for me is that we take a very considered approach. We look at the regulatory frameworks. We're also very clear that we're on a stable Ethereum baseline on blockchain. We, of course, have our SNC token, but fundamentally, we're in renewable energy. And I've just had a question come through from the community, which is about the platform itself. And the question is, how many users are on our platform in Slovenia right now?
Yeah, we have, I can say, 10,000 plus customers right now. Not all of them are on the peer-to-peer market. Yeah, but I see now in the future, when we introduce new countries, new services, the customers will grow because, yeah, we have actually no limit here, because we know everybody is needing energy. So in Slovenia, for example, we have about 1 million of let's say potential customers using energy, because families, businesses, you know, they have even more accounts and so on. So about 1 million of those. Is a small country, but you can see Europe, let's say Europe Union has 450 million people, and I would say, if I'm estimating the same as in Slovenia, let's say 200 to 300 million potential for us just in Europe Union. Of course, we are not going to have 50% on this, but let's say if we have just up to 1% and going in different countries and have up to 1% on each of these countries, these are already millions of customers and billions of energy revenue, because we're in energy. Energy is like a tanker, I said, and also the numbers are like a tanker's numbers. So that's why we don't care about this. We just go on. We have a really good services, new and just continue to develop and just go on the market, and market is happening for us anyway.
And another specific question coming through based on what you were just saying is, how many kilowatts went through the platform in 2022?
I can say this right now is just in Slovenia. For I would say for maybe for this year, I have more data now for this year in my head. This year will be about approximately 100 gigawatt hours. It means 100 million kilowatt hours. It's about now. This is let's say in euros, it's about 15 million euro of revenue on the energy. Just to estimate you some numbers. Let's say to 10 to 50 million, depends on the energy price. What customers decide by themselves. We know that we are not intermediate, so they can do by themselves. But let's say depends what they decide. But the market price is around here. So this is the revenue just in Slovenia, estimation for this year in Slovenia. But I didn't add anything for Croatia, Estonia, and other services. This is the top of it. So yeah, this is, I mean, we in Slovenia, for example, if I'm comparing these numbers also with the renewable energy sector, especially of solar, we actually hold about 10% of the solar installations in our platform regarding the revenue. So this is about the price. But of course, we are in Slovenia. We first introduced the service in Slovenia. That's why our share here is a little bigger regarding this one. But when we go new countries, then we will be starting from zero. But we grow very fast, I think, because of the very innovative service.
And we have an incredible success story behind us to base that on. Another question come through is there more selling pressure or buying pressure for energy on the platform, given that we provide for households and we provide for businesses, and we have producers, and we have pure consumers, and we have people who produce and consume, being our prosumers. So where do you see there being more pressure, but selling or buying on the platform?
Yeah, this is also depends on the moment we are looking. Right now, for example, we have more selling pressure in our platform, peer-to-peer. But I know that some customers are joining us now. We already signed some contract for the next quarter, and to the end of the year, there will be more buying pressure. So depends how many customers on one another side are joining us, but it doesn't matter. It's never equal. It's never balanced. But we are looking that we are close this balance. That we are closing the balance as much we can. That in this way, when the balance is closed, the best way the peer-to-peer is working. The peer-to-peer is working when you have such a big difference, then you have lag for somebody. They cannot do, let's say, enough peer-to-peer. When it's balanced, it's a lot peer. So we care about this with our promotion, with our sales to get new customers and new projects, or the size of the project, because we are taking, like you nicely said, from household, from businesses to industrial users. Of course, they are using a lot. Household is small, and on the other side we have small renewable energy producers like solar, hydro, cogeneration, or we have bigger. Let's say we have one big hydro power plant who is joining us, and so on. And now we are talking. I mean, now solar is booming all around Europe and also in Slovenia. Beside our own projects, we are doing a lot. Let's say this year the SunContract group, which SunContract is part of, is going to be done about 2,000 solar power plants, about 50 megawatts of solar installations itself, and there are others are coming. So I mean, this is going. Let's say we are going up about 100% per year. So this is the great work we are doing, and that's a lot. So.
Given our 5-year record being on the platform and this incredible anniversary for us here in April, we've talked about cross-border trading being a huge goal, but we've also talked about a global energy marketplace. And this is a very exciting time that we'd like to ask you about the NFTs on SunContract. So how would you describe SunContract NFTs?
This is a good story, and this will be a revolutionary story. I believe in it, and you will see it in the future. We are working on this project already some time, and I can announce to our community right now that we are going out with this new global energy NFT marketplace in this summer. So this summer will be hot, also for NFT, also for the energy, also for our pioneers, for our community, and the rest who would like to join, because we are actually introducing new services, a lot of new things, which will be global. And this is the essential part. Like you said, Up to now, we didn't have global services. We had country-based, country location located services, but with those NFTs, with everybody worldwide, besides some countries which are from different constraints, we were not able to, but majority of the world countries will be able to come to join to SunContract, and actually not just to come to SunContract to buy NFTs, but also in this way support renewable energy and growing the green revolution and converting planet to the better, to the nicer, to the cleaner world. So I mean, so we actually doing this, enabling now that everybody who is willing to invest, to be self-sufficient, or even support on the renewables anywhere worldwide, even there is not possibility because of the regulation constraint, maybe let's say in China or in some in other countries where it's not possible because legislation is not on the level that will be open to everybody, they can invest, and actually NFTs will be then, I mean, the solar installations and later on also other renewable energy installations will be tokenized and will be used from, let's say, Europe Union, where this is possible, and SunContract is doing this. I think this will be first worldwide that you will have NFT, which will tokenize a renewable energy asset. NFT will be connected to this asset, and you will get also the revenue, let's say, from this asset connected to NFT. So to the real asset, coming from the virtual world to the real world, connecting these two together and putting on the energy space. And I think this is awesome. And of course, everything on top of peer-to-peer. Not just classical investment, but no. This is on top of peer-to-peer, and peer-to-peer is our base, what we developed in the last 5 years, and this is working, this is proven, and in this way, I think it will be an awesome project for everybody and also for the community. Important is that this NFT is actually directly connected to this real asset, and which is already installed. We don't do something for future build. It's already built. We tokenize it, we offer to the customers, and they can buy, and they actually have this ability to enjoy the revenue for this direct solar panel from everywhere. We tokenize it, and it's there, and we can physically show it. You can see it, you can touch it, and you benefit the revenue. It means a lot because in this case, whoever loves renewables, whoever care about the planet, whoever like to be self-sufficient, whoever like to invest in the renewables, all these possibilities will be open for these people.
And these possibilities are in place, as you say, because we're talking about an existing solar panel. It's not about future funding. It's about real built solar panels. And we have 2,112 of them that we will put the digital asset to. And this really is revolutionary, because when we talk about renewable energy revolution or a global energy marketplace, we're not unrealistic. We don't think we can take over the world with our peer-to-peer trading platform. What we're trying to do is to provide access to renewable energy, to encourage people to invest in it, for the fact that we are offering literal physical solar panels.
Exactly, and then this is correct, and also not just what we built as a SunContract group, as a SunContract, but also the rest of the world, the rest our partners, potential future partners. They can come, investors who own the solar power plants. They will be able to come to us. Of course, we do due diligence, that we remove scams and all this stuff. Then when due diligence done and positively done, then they will be able to offer these assets, renewable assets on the marketplace, and we will then introduce to the global community to do it. So this is actually a revolution that we enable everybody to jump in, and of course to help to this energy green transition.
Gregor, there's so much about the NFTs that's exciting, and we know that the launch is coming in summer now. And everything that we're going to be doing as a company is built towards growing this marketplace. There's been a question that's come through about the size of our team and how we're growing as a business right now. What can you tell our listeners about how our business is growing?
Yeah, this I'm actually very excited about the team and the growing. We actually enlarged last year the team 100%. Now we have over 80 employees in the whole group, and SunContract is here, essential part of it. And we are still growing. We employ people and getting bigger and bigger. Now we have offices in Tallinn. We just started office in Zagreb, in Croatia, this is the expanding. We bought some real estate, the offices here in Slovenia, another 900 square meters, and so on. So that we are all the time short of the space because we employ people faster than we can hire rent the offices. But anyway, we are working hybrid. So nowadays, if all people comes to the office, we don't have place to have them. Especially also you all guys who are around the world, our workers, how you work with us, I didn't even count you here in the office, because if I put here, I would need another floor, I think. But we are getting bigger in all sizes everywhere, and now we have really more than 80 people employed, and we're getting, I would say, each week we have new friends coming to joining us all around the world, also Slovenia. So it's also tough, because it's a lot of work to do, to put a lot of things on place, to put, let's say, new processes in place, new size of working with the people. Sometimes maybe I can apologize to community because I'm not so often now on the community. I would like to be more. And sometimes I'm not able to, because we are doing so many strategic stuff growing, and that's why I'm actually get short of time. But I can also say that now we have already in place of 5 directors of different sectors in the group, from the solar installations, SunContract, a new director. We have another director for hedging trading. We have director for Croatia as well. We have sometime already director for Estonia, and so on. You can see that's our work changed in between, because we grow so fast. Besides everything, all our services, marketing, finance, IT, all grow a lot, and so on. Of course, our revenue went up very, very much, and also we are very satisfied also with the result in the end. So it's actually awesome time. I like to see when everything is going green, I would say.
Gregor, thank you so much for the answers to the community questions. Perhaps now we could wrap up and hear more about the future plans for SunContract 2023 and beyond.
Yeah, I can, as I said a little bit in the beginning or during the talk, our now first goal is to go out with a new energy marketplace for NFTs. This will be really something, that new service. We are really happy about this, and this will going to happen this summer. So this is the first goal we want to achieve this summer, and then with the following, the cross-border peer-to-peer trading, we will connect energy marketplace. This is a new additional service on the energy marketplace. We are developing a new hybrid products on the renewable, on the peer-to-peer energy marketplace, which are needed, because the market is changing, and we are very fast. we can develop a new product in a month or in 2 weeks, or sometimes it's very fast, even in a week. So this is something in energy actually unbelievable. Energy, nothing happens earlier than 1 year, but we can do it, let's say, 1 month. So it's 10 times, 12 times faster than, let's say, classical energy companies can do. And this is actually our advantage, and we like it. So we are going to new energy peer-to-peer products we are developing, and also we get requests for the customer. For example, today one customer came to us and said, I would like to have such a product. Can you build it for me? And we said, okay, how much do you have? How much do you plan? And he said, 20 megawatt in this year. I said, okay, this is enough. We can let's say going through to deeper through, and we just promised him today, okay, we will do this product first, let's say, for you in 2 weeks. And then you will tell whether is this suitable for you or not. And if it is, we will introduce this product, let's say, in another 2 weeks, which will work in the platform. That's done. So it means something that we can be very flexible, and this is something which actually surprised us and also surprised the competitors and also our partners, that we are able to do this so fast. And yeah, this is actually perfect. And of course, new markets. Now we are doing a lot this in Croatia market, and next year for sure we will go on new markets also beyond those 2 countries I introduced, Estonia and Croatia. Yeah, this will go, but I don't want to say when and what, because sometimes I wish to go, and then sometimes something happened, and then let's say there is some postpone. So, but I'm here. I know now we are 80 people. Maybe next year we will be over 100 people. Maybe this year already. Sorry, there will be more over 100 people. So it's then easier. Then you can have some resources to go in different markets. But still, we are energy. It's highly regulated. We are in crypto. We know Mika is here in front of us. Also, regulation became tough. Let's say, especially Estonia. We are still holding the licensing there, but now this licensing is actually similar to the bank license. I mean, it's getting tougher and tougher, but it's okay. So it means that the serious companies, serious players can stay in the business, and maybe scammers or some others who are not serious, they just cannot follow this and they are shut down. So I mean, for us it's okay, but yeah, let's say Mika will come this year, and then we will have, let's say, 18 months to adapt it. And it's actually good, because we like in a certain level of regulation, then we remove, let's say, some unserious projects. And of course, we are more secure when we see we are in compliance with this regulation. Then we are also in cryptosphere more secure. Then let's say we are sometimes it's nothing. But the energy sector is immediate. You know, if in energy sector you are not compliant, they shut you down in a week. So that's not a game, and that's the way. So that's why our community sometimes expect, okay, go faster to Italy, go faster to Germany, to go faster. Yeah, we would love to, but actually will be unsecure also for them, also for us, and will be not, let's say, will be not good in a long perspective. Go by step, a little bit slower, but still faster than competitors. That's good for me.
Absolutely. And we know that we'll give a sneak peek into how the SNC coin might integrate in the metaverse and DeFi projects later on. So really and truly, the world is our oyster, and we are very committed to making sure that renewable energy is accessible to everyone. Gregor, thank you so much for your time today. I know that you care passionately about the community, and we, of course, as a company, make a huge commitment to all of our customers, whether they be our customer now or a customer in the future. We really want everybody to join us in the renewable energy revolution. Thank you, Gregor.
Thank you very much to you, and thank you very much for all community staying with us, believing us, helping us, giving us proposals, teaching us, giving us questions like this, also saying what we didn't do wrong, didn't do right, we can repair, we can help, we can also, they help us and we can return something back. I see that the future is really solar, the future is really sunny, the future is certainly green from the energy perspective. And as well, I think until we have such many ideas and such a space we see, like you mentioned, also the metaverse, all these spaces, we are not there, but we are a little touchy already there.
Exactly. And Gregor, we are so proud to work with you, with your vision as an incredible leader to us all. And thank you for your time. We wish you an incredible success in 2023, and we're all so excited to be part of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you and all the team, and of course all the community is with us. I'm very happy to be working with you also in the future.